today's video, I want to focus on two samples used in Drake's production.
Fuck a pigeonhole, I'm a night owl, it's a different mode.
The two 70s samples that are called You Were Gone and Until I Found the Lord, showing you the techniques we learn from these soul songs, making our own and flip them into a Drake beat. Bring me to the bass guitar. With these songs we notice they have a lot of catchy bass rhythm. You can see I added two tiny notes which give that natural sound like it was being played. In the 70s they often recorded their basses through preamps and microphones, so I used these effects. With the rhythm already made, I wanted to add some acoustic drums just like in both of these songs. So I went to Addictive Keys, used the 70s jam and played this. I use this King's microphone which gives it that nice 70s edge. After that I wanted to add some subtle chords that you hear on You Are Gone. So I used this vintage piano. And to really capture that realistic sound, I went into the piano and just turned the noise up for the key down and the recording noise. Then I used these plugins to give it that old character. I then wanted to make it sound like it was recorded in a room. So I recorded the piano out my headphones and into my microphone. And then I pitched it down to give it a lower tone. With the top line of the piano, I wanted to add a higher tone Glockenspiel. And with this certain sound, I wanted to have a long sustain with a lot of vibrato, as you can see here. Now we're getting there with a sample and I just want to thicken it up a little bit. So I added this first flute, which adds to that melodic bounce with the drums. Then I added these two riffs to add to that soul element. And adding tape to these really gives it that vintage sound. Then I used this speaker plugin to really make it sound like it was recorded for a microphone. And lastly, I found another flute to add to that melodic bounce. And to make these flutes sound like there was recording on each side of the room, I created an automation for the flute riff, then I panned the other riffs to left to right. And just like in You Were Gone, I found these whiny guitars from Splice that I added on top. The first layer I ran through a shimmer that was really common in the late 60s. And I paired that with a reels to sound like this. Next, to add to that soul movement and fullness, I added some strings in the same chords as the piano. And then I wanted to add my own vocals, so I did these takes. As auto-tune wasn't around in them days, I put a low retune speed and humanized it just so it was realistic. In the 70s, a lot of singers harmonized in vibrato. So as you can see, I set this sine wave very high to give it that effect. In the second half of the sample, I added this splice vocal. Which added as a breakdown just like in Champagne Poetry.
Yeah.
Something that's important in 70 samples is the transitions. So as you can see, I exported a lot of sound and I use this fade in and out setting. That just allows for the instruments to come in and out. And to make this sample have the final 70s touch, they'd run their sounds through a PureTech EQ, a compressor, and a tape. So moving on to the beat. And just like in Jimmy Cook's, I put it up by 6 semitones, which makes the vocals sound normal, and I doubled the speed. Then when you add some Drake drums, this is how it sounds.
Can't live without you.